Throughout history, humankind has lost touch with their true power. We created and discovered so many different things. And yet, in all this evolution, we forgot the true power that we hold within. Even with being able to fly in metal boxes and being able to work from our phones, for most people, wealth is really hard to manifest and live. What I am able to share with you in this video can change your life forever. So, let's first mention some important concepts such as, no matter how solid something appears to be, it is waveform energy in its foundation. Midstream scientific studies are slowly beginning to acknowledge what awakened people have known all along, that everything is consciousness and connected to everything else. If you continue watching this video, you will learn how you can tap into that consciousness and use it to create the life of your dreams with ease. Once you learn this technique, you will realize that there is nothing miraculous about this at all, that reality is designed to make this possible. But that knowledge has been suppressed to keep us in ignorance of our true power. Main reason for that is our perception. What we believe we perceive, and what we perceive we experience. This is not superstition, it is physics. George Berkeley, after whom Berkeley University is named, could see that material reality was an illusion, and he said, "The only thing we perceive are our perceptions." The most common example of this is firewalking. When you walk barefoot on red-hot coals with belief that you will get burned, then that is what will happen. But if you go in an altered state of consciousness, altered sense of reality, you can do the same and not get burned, as firewalkers all over the world have shown. An illusion cannot be an illusion unless you believe it can. So why couldn't it be the same with money? Well, the truth is, it can. You just don't know how to do it. By now, we all have heard about the concept of the law of attraction, but what many people don't know is that they are using it to repel money. We are all using the broken model of reality that's called do, have, be. And the truth is, the universe doesn't quite work like that. The main principle on which the universe is working is the be, do, have model. All this has been proven with the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. His work proves to us that the quantum field doesn't respond to what we want. It responds to who we are. And even if you don't believe in this, take a look at your own life. Take a look at our society. We have been taught that hustle hard culture is the only way to go if we want to succeed. And yet 64% of Americans that hustle really hard live paycheck to paycheck. Only way you can change your outside is by going inside into your subconsciousness. What I'm about to share with you is one of the most powerful ways to unlock wealth in your subconscious mind. But before I do that, I want to share with you how I came across all this knowledge, how I've learned to tap into the high vibrational frequency that can help you to create unlimited wealth and abundance in your life. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Joseph. I was born and raised in America, and recently, I was fired from my job due to the global pandemic. And as if that would not be enough, my mom died. I was devastated, lost, and broke. As I was saying my last goodbye, she decided to share something that was about to change my life forever. Some of her last words were, "There is a great secret that lies within my land that can help many to rise from poverty." But of course, with everything that was going on, I didn't really think much about it. About 3 weeks later, I received a message from my Aunt Hema, who lives in Egypt. Egypt was my mother's homeland. She invited me to come and visit her, and she mentioned that there are some things that my mom left, and she thought I might want it. At that moment, I remembered words that my mom said, and I strongly felt an urge to go there. I felt like my gut was telling me that. Well, I didn't have a job, and felt a little unrooted, so the idea of going to my mother's land and connecting with my family didn't sound bad at all. Actually, it sounded like exactly what I needed. I was going to spend 10 days in Egypt reconnecting with my relatives, searching for my roots and getting to know that part of my heritage. On the third day, I went to visit my Aunt Heba. It was a beautiful connection, and I felt so happy. I haven't felt this happy since my mom passed. She gave me a box full of my mother's things. I browsed through the things and old family photos, and I found a small book that was in a language I could not read. I realized that as I lifted the book with my hand, my heart started to beat faster, and for some reason I got very excited. I wasn't quite sure what the book was about. I browsed a few pages and a little note that was handwritten by my mother fell out. It said, "Leroy's land, Leroy's land, Leroy's land." Wow, this whole thing started to be kind of mysterious. I had no idea why my mother mentioned my father Leroy's homeland, but I felt like it was all connected. The next day, I found a translator who was able to translate various ancient Egyptian scripts. I went straight away to his office, and it was very warm and sticky, with no AC. The man in his 50s, sitting behind the desk, looked very bored when he saw me. I showed him the book and asked him if he would be able to translate it, and when I looked at his face, I noticed a sudden spark in his eyes, and even a smile on his face. He told me I can come to pick up the translation tomorrow, or day after. But something told me I should stay and not leave the book behind. So I sat down and he started to work. After the whole afternoon of translating, he raised his eyebrows and said he was done for today. I took the book and translation with me and returned the next day. He continued with his work for another day and a half. When he finally finished, I asked him for the price, and he started to act weird. He offered to buy the book from me for $100. I refused, then he offered $1,000. After that, even $3,000, but I said no. At this point, I was feeling very suspicious. The energy in the room was heavy and really tense. I asked if $500 would cover his work, and he said yes. I left the money on the table and took the book and the translation. As I left his office and walked through the city, I had a strange feeling as if someone was following me. A few blocks further on my walk, a car almost hit me when I was crossing the road. Thought came to my mind, fly to Jamaica now. So I went to pick my stuff from the hotel, changed my flight, and flew to Jamaica that same evening. Jamaica was my father's Leroy homeland. On the plane, I started to read the translated text. I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that he offered me $3,000 for it. There must be something really important there. I read it, but I didn't understand much. Text was about some mantras and old yoga techniques. It talked about the oldest mantra in the world that has the power to manifest money and wealth. Om Lasan Khan Sharo. It talked about the origins of yoga and mantra chanting. But as I was never into this stuff before, I didn't know much about it. Still, I had a feeling that I was getting closer to figuring out what it all meant. After I arrived in Jamaica, I went to visit my precious niece, Chanel. What happened next was what others call a miracle or serendipity. When I arrived at her house, it was actually her birthday, and there was a little party, and among many people, I spotted one of my favorite reggae artists, Ras Zakari. He was one of our guests, so I went and introduced myself. We started to talk about my trip to Egypt, and I've shared with him what I've stumbled upon at my mother's box, and the strange story with the translation. He told me that it's really cool timing, because he was just working on his new album and recording some of the most powerful mantras in a reggae style and 432 Hz frequency. He also mentioned that it's not exactly what he usually does, but he felt a strong call from the High Most High to do so. For those that don't know Ras Zakari, apart from being a singer and nephew of Buju Banton, he's also a wellness guru and a yoga teacher. He studied and experimented with mantras and sound for a long time, and one of the main discoveries that he had was that there needs to be a certain frequency and vibration for it to work. We spent over an hour talking about this, and I've learned that I have access to ancient Egyptian mantras that allow the individual to unleash inner cosmic powers, forces, wisdom, and knowledge. These, when connected with the right healing frequencies, act on the energy in the energetic body, and ultimately bring about changes in the physical body. Maybe this was the thing that my mother was referring to. And as I knew almost nothing about that topic, I've asked Zakari if he wants to use these mantras. And it was exactly what he did. We got so excited about this that the very next day we went to the studio in Kingston and started to record. Zakari called the best saxophonist, bass player, and some of the legendary artists that even played with Peter Tosh, and we were all in. All the musicians seemed to really like the music and had a lot of ideas. The whole process was really flowing. Everyone seemed to be inspired. At the end of the day, we had the mantra ready. Zakari and the musicians continued reading for 3 weeks, and before even finishing the album, we had the proof that our money mantra was working. One of the most powerful stories was a winning lottery ticket. Zakari's friend came to the studio while we recorded the money mantra, and the same day he won $1 million Jamaican dollars, around $8,000 USD in the lottery. Yeah, I know this sounds incredible and crazy at the same time, but there are other things that happened as well. Bass player suddenly got his contract for a first world tour that week. Another friend came several weeks during recording. He got an idea to import and sell graba, or tobacco, and turned it into a big company. Now his graba is sold in almost every shop in Jamaica. The brand is called Up Leaf Graba Blend. Engineer in the studio got so many offers that he had his schedule fully booked, and I could go on and on about this. What is really important in this story is that we recorded these mantras that are precisely designed to raise your frequency, make you feel positive and happy, which is something that is particularly connected with reggae music. Remember Sunshine Reggae? And with the 432 Hz frequency that allows your subconsciousness to receive those messages, and that activates abundance flow in your life. In the following months, my life changed completely. I was offered to buy a few NFTs, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions. I made around $300,000 USD, and then tripled it with an investment on a little-known cryptocurrency that soared exactly as the whole market went down. Just about a month after these mysterious stories and serendipities, I was almost a millionaire. After sharing this mantra with our families and friends, I couldn't stop thinking about the words that my mother said, that this mantra has the ability to help many to rise from poverty. This knowledge was lost and suppressed for us common people, but is used by the 1% elites. Until now, only the very powerful and wealthy had access to it. Yet it's encoded in the very fabric of our reality. Did you realize the pyramid in the dollar notes? Well, it's not a coincidence. The pyramids of Egypt and money are deeply interconnected. But everyone deserves to live their life to the fullest without having to worry about money. You have the power within you, at this very moment, to be wealthy, successful, and happy. And I'm going to show you how to make the universe to manifest this for you. I'm going to give you instant access to this life-changing manifestation system, and you're not going to have to pay $1,000. You're not even going to have to pay $100 to get access to this priceless information that you can use to generate wealth nearly immediately. All I'm asking for is a one-time payment for the price you see below. That's literally the price of 2 coffees. You'll get access to life-changing information that will gradually alter your entire life. Now, I know you may be asking why charge for this information at all if I want to get the word out. The reason is twofold. The first reason is that the more money I raise, the faster and easier I can spread the word to others. I'm focusing on helping as many regular people as I can. In loving memory of my mother's last words, it feels like it has become my mission in life. Secondly, I need to make sure that you're serious, and I know that if you just gave this information away, people may not take it seriously. I'm so confident that this will work for you that I'm offering a 30-day money-back guarantee with absolutely no questions asked. You'll finally be able to manifest your life of abundant wealth and have freedom from worry. You'll be prepared for whatever comes your way in the future. With recession knocking strong on the door, instead of letting the fear run the show, you have a chance today to download the most powerful money mantra out there. For the price of 2 coffees, you'll have access to a sacred ancient mantra that's going to help you manifest the life of your dreams. You are worthy of having it all, and it's time that money starts flowing into your life because you deserve it. We all do. Why should only a selected few people with access to this secret information get to benefit from it? Click the button below to receive instant access while you still can, and give yourself a life you deserve.